All of our three nations are connected. The Taku River, Tlingit, and Sultan and Kaska. We all have overlapping territories with each other and shared concerns. The Three Nations Society is the three nations coming together and working on joint initiatives. I act as a liaison between each of the communities, setting up community meetings and working with all of the board members to just try to coordinate what each community is working on so that we can work together.
Each nation has one representative, and we work on a whole bunch of stuff. Education and training, health and wellness, child and family, wildlife and stewardship, the Land Guardian program. The Land Guardians program is very successful.
We're more or less like the stewards of the land. We monitor the health of the population of the animals, manage the predators, and work with other guardians and the three nations.
I provide training to guardian programs if they need it. Working with our collaborative stewardship framework, we meet bi-weekly for technical team meetings. We meet internally as well with the Three Nation wildlife leads.
The collective territories of the three nations represents 24% of the province, and most of it is in a pristine condition. It's one of the last holdouts in the province that has so little interference from humankind. Absolutely want to keep it that way.
When our Guardian program first started for Kaska, there was a lot of elder concerns around meat being wasted and poaching of animals. So we built our program off meeting with Taku River Tlingit. They have the longest running Guardian program. So we met with them in 2015, I believe, and just kind of got an idea of what they were doing with their Guardian program, and they shared their whole program with us as well as their templates. Sultan Guardian program has land guardians as well, so they do a lot of monitoring. Their predator management program is based heavily on their own wolf collaring program, just to kind of get understanding of the movement because they want to know if that's tied to the decline of caribou populations. You know, we're all seeing the same issues and concerns around wildlife management, and working together just brings a more stronger voice to the province about what we're seeing on the land. Great example of the collaboration for the Three Nations Guardians is the recent climate station installation in each of the Three Nation territories.
We're going to be looking for areas for the climate station.
So trying to find something that's not too windy and not too snowy.
I think it might be a good spot right there. Get a lot of sun here.
Yeah.
We could get to a skidoo.
Okay. So this one sounds like it's the best for you.
I think we should put it here if you're all right with that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm happy to.
Okay, good.
I think we'll shut down. Okay.
Thank you.
The plan for today is to get everything up and running, so we're pretty excited. Today we are putting up a climate monitoring station. Learning about climate can tell us why the animals are here and why they migrate through this area.
This is the lichen right here that the caribou are after. Is this white one with the veins on it? This is their main food source from the summer right through the winter. Things aren't growing as fast as they used to be, and they're changing their migration routes.
Caribou here are depleting significantly. The information from this climate station is going to help us protect the animals and pass on information for the province. Northern BC is pretty sparse in terms of weather station monitoring, and there's major gaps in understanding the climate of this area. The station will be belonging to the Sultan, but they'll be sharing the data with me, and I'll be using it to help correct climate models.
Climate change could be worse than ever this year, so this climate station is going to help us monitor that just on how rapid it's changing. It's so important to understand all of this.
There's a lot of change that people are seeing, especially from our elders. Concerns coming from different wildlife behavior, changes in our main river systems. I've seen a lot of people come in where they're collecting data, and it's not the First Nations, and they're not really understanding and having that relayed back to their community members. I think having the Guardians out, doing this data, being a part of it, building these relationships with the province is beneficial to our community and create our own baseline data to understand climate change as we're seeing it, because we're the eyes and ears on the ground. We see the different behaviors in wildlife. We're here every day training our own people, and it's going to be incorporated into all of the work we're doing already around water monitoring and wildlife management. Here's all the data. So it gives it to you in a graph. Blue is the water levels and the red the water temperature. It'll be interesting to see how we incorporate this data that we're collecting and how it'll be useful for climate change studies. We got to go back from all the data we collected in the last year and we put it all together, going by the same dates for bear logger and data logger. It could take up to 10 years of data before you see trends in climate change. So I think we've got about 2 years of water data. Now bringing in the climate station and having continuous data and having people out there all the time would be a good start.
The climate data is really important for salmon that are coming home to spawn. Salmon are basically like the lifeblood for our nation. They've sustained us for millennia.
There was starting to be a significant disconnect between our salmon culture and our people because we're fairly disconnected from the Taffy River. It's like a half an hour to a 45-minute helicopter ride into the watershed. And so this camp is a bridge for that knowledge transfer.
There's a lot of cultural teachings.
Rich salmon eggs. That's how Grandma got such beautiful hair.
As guardians, it's exciting to learn all of these tricks of the trade.
It's about sharing, cooperation for all our people.
It's so important to have cool waters for our salmon.
We're pretty worried about climate change.
We are headed to the weather station and cutting a trail to it.
This way, go straight up or along.
We need an easier trail that isn't too steep because we'll be coming back pretty regularly. So we're looking at the data logger. Last week, we had a really crazy rain event.
So the rain is the black.
We're worried about landslides blocking any of the salmon spawning barriers, but then we're also worried about the wildfires that are going on in lower BC. There's really high temperatures that we're seeing, and if the water gets too warm, the salmon aren't going to make it. So our Guardian program will be checking and monitoring this data regularly to communicate that with our nation and then with provincial and federal decision makers.
We're all seeing just how important it is to work together the way the three nations are. They've come a long way from when they started in 2009, and I think it's really important to collaborate with your neighboring people and work on initiatives like this when it brings in children, wildlife, health, and the land.
We're able to affect change in a really positive way, and we can shine a light on those traditional values and practices and how they can be used in a modern context. I think that's pretty cool.